Hello. Today we're talking about health. I'm not here to sell you anything at all. So today we're reading something I'm obviously very passionate about. I've written this whole book is covered in sticky notes, and metabolic disease is something a lot of people have, but a lot of people don't understand. Treatment is not a cure. It's not even treatment. A lot of people, that's something that they just don't understand, that healthcare is not going to help them. You honestly, if you want to be cured of any ailments that you have, you need to go to a nutritional biochemist, not a nutritionist, not a dietitian, but a nutritional biochemist. The biochemist is important because the biochemist can actually tell you what exactly, on not just a cellular level, but what's happened from the ground to your mouth, to the cell. And not only that, how each thing bonds with the other thing on a chemistry level. And it's really important. I don't think a lot of people know that, that what you eat matters. So like in America, we overindulge in sugars. And I quote sugars because there's glucose, there's sucrose, there's a million different types of sugars that are very, very bad for you. When you eat sugar, sugar needs a protein molecule to bond with, and once they're bonded and paired, your liver can then flush the toxins out. Yes, sugar is a toxin. It is highly toxic. So once the glucose molecule bonds with the protein molecule and they marry, your liver can then slush it off. What happens next is that if you can't slush off all the sugar and protein that you're eating, it'll build up as fat in the liver, and it'll eventually coat your liver in a fatty layer, and then you'll have non-alcoholic fatty cirrhosis of the liver. My grandmother has congestive heart failure due to eating too much sugar. I don't think people understand that. And then even we went to the nutritionist, and this is what broke me. I asked him, I said, so should she limit the sugar she's eating? And she goes, no, just the salt. Ma'am. I said, I don't think you understand how the human body works. She has the best type of congestive heart failure. It's congestive heart failure of the, hi everybody. Oh, hi. Best of the Beast. I love, that is a cool name. Hi, Key. Hi, Key. But my grandmother has congestive heart failure, and it's the best type of congestive heart failure that you can have. It's caused from sugar. Sugar, I'm just going to put it to you all like this about sugar. I know a lot of people don't understand sugar like they should. Sugar, if you ever get grout somewhere, if you're grouting your tile floor and you get grout on the tile and it dries and you're like, oh no, how am I going to get this off? I have a solution for you. So if you take a gallon of boiling water, mix 1 cup of regular sugar into it, soak the paper towel, put it on top of wherever you got the grout. Oh, thank you, Key. I'm going to have a wonderful month. But if you put the towel down where the grout is you want to get off, the sugar molecules will literally eat through the grout. So you have to understand that when you're eating this stuff, first off, your body cannot digest it, unless you're eating protein with it. And let me tell you something, if you eat sugar without the protein molecule, so if you're not prioritizing sugar and protein to bond them together, it will steal that protein. Your body wants that poison out of you, and it will try to do the best. Here's the problem though. Sugar is not inherently bad. It's what's been done to the sugar. You eat an apple, that's got complex carbs in it, which is complex sugars. Complex carbs, complex sugars, same exact thing. Thank y'all so much for the support. I really do appreciate it, by the way. I know I'm kind of all over the place. But If you don't have the protein molecule when you eat the sugar, your body will take it. It wants to get the poison out. Okay, so it's gonna bond whether you have it ready because you're eating sugar and the protein together. And remember, sugar's okay for you. Simple sugars are digested really, really fast. Um, and if you don't readily have the molecules ready, that's most likely going to line your liver with fat, and you won't know it for about 20 years. And then you're going to wake up one day and you're going to have fatty cirrhosis of the liver, and you're going to be like, how did I get here? The liver pulls all the toxins out. It's funny though, because when you eat the protein, when protein's digested, it comes off with a protein waste that your body has to get rid of, and the kidneys are responsible for removing the protein waste. But the actual protein has to bond with the sugar, which your liver then removes out of your body. So simple sugars are digested really fast, and they cause oxidative stress. And what I don't think people understand about oxidative stress, your brain uses sugar. So if you're constantly using simple sugars to power your brain, it's going to emit this chemical. And let's just put it to you like this. Did y'all know Alzheimer's is classified as type 3 diabetes? Type 3 diabetes is Alzheimer's. That's because sugar literally rots. It's not the sugar itself, it's the byproduct of the simple sugars. Or if you're eating bleached sugar, heavily processed sugar, you're eating all the chemicals too, and then it's feeding it straight to your brain, and eventually your brain's gonna literally melt. But I will say this, so the brain is soft tissue, right? Soft tissue heals. If you get a cut on your skin is soft tissue. It's a soft tissue organ. So you get a cut on your hand, it heals. You might have a scar, but it heals. It completely regenerates itself with new cells. So if you're wondering if whether Alzheimer's can be healed or whether Alzheimer's cannot be healed, it's kind of self-explanatory. It's soft tissue. If given the right conditions, the brain should heal itself. So if you have a loved one that has Alzheimer's, just know if given the right conditions, and I mean the right conditions, you have to cut out all sugar. And you have to detox from sugar, not just cut it out, but you have to actually detox from the sugar. It's really important. It really is. I appreciate y'all. I really do. I really am thankful. So what I'm doing today is I'm trying to help people understand stuff. So I have this book. It's called Metabolical, and it's wonderful. I love this book. It's one of the reasons it helped change my life. I had breast cancer. I was almost 200 pounds. And you have zero problems, guys, until you have one health problem, and then you're just done. You're just done. I can assure you, you're done, because one health problem, you will have a million health problems. Because if you're taken out of the equation of your life, who pays the bills? Who brings the kids to and from school? Who does anything? Who is running the ship at this point? Just imagine if you can't get up and do what you normally do because you're so sick. And I think that's a lot of things that people are like, oh, I eat my cheeseburger, I ate this, and I'm perfectly fine. It's like a pack of cigarettes. You can smoke a cigarette. You can smoke for 5 years, have zero problems. But do it long enough, consistently enough, your body will start to break down. Because what you feed your body on a cellular level, it divides. And yeah. Okay, so, and also, if anyone has any questions about any health issues they're having, I swear to you, I can answer them. Like simple stuff, simple stuff. Like if you have, if you're overweight and you have high blood pressure, you have a sugar problem. That means your heart is under attack by sugar. If you have a larger waistline, but you have no high blood pressure, your problem is salt. So if you're wanting to lose weight and you want to lose weight fast, that's the way to do it. Understand your body. So if you're overweight and you have high blood pressure, sugar's your problem. If you're overweight but you do not have the high blood pressure, salt's your problem. So whether it's sugar or salt, salt's inherently good for you. It depends on what salt we're talking about, and I'm talking about processed salts. You can actually lose your vision if you don't have the nutrients you can get from salt. I actually went on a salt-free kick for like a year, and it put me in the hospital. I'd stand up and I'd just pass out. My blood pressure wasn't able to regulate itself. My heart wasn't able to function. I started losing my vision, and I went to the hospital, and I would not be darned if they looked at me, they looked at my blood work and said, ma'am, have you had any salt in your diet or iodine or, and I was like, first off, kudos, because no one's ever asked me about my diet when I went to the hospital. But I said, no, I said, I cut it all out because there's so many heart problems in my family. I said, I went ahead and got ahead of it. Salt's supposed to be bad for the heart. I took my grandmother doctor. They told her only worry about the salt that she was ingesting. So salt seemed to be the red herring. It's not the red herring. It's not. It's not. It's not the red herring. And what is the red herring is the amount of processed food that we're eating, and the salt that you see, the sodium that's on the back of the label, that's not salt. And that's why it's not labeled salt. That's why it's labeled sodium. Yes, they are basically the same thing. Basically, on a molecular level, they are. They're not really. So we have a controversy. Keto versus vegan. So keto versus vegan. A lot of people will say, this is happening. This is happening. Which one should I do? Well, let's read. Movies like What the Health that came out in 2017 and Game Changers argue that animal products kill people. Vegan promotes that argue that meat is killing people and the planet. Are these arguments based in science? It seems like everyone from the commission to the intergovernmental panel on climate change is advocating a plant-based diet for both health and the environment. If it was that easy of an answer, India, listen to this, India, which is the largest part, does not eat beef. 90%, most people in India do not eat beef, would be healthier by this assumption, right? But diabetes rate is at 8.8% and growing in India. The United States rate is at 9.4. Our diet is atrociously bad in America. If you're from America, it's no cutting corners. It's bad. The rate in the U.S., is 9.4. So we're real close. India and the United States are growing with diabetics. By the same token, Argentina and New Zealand, which both eat double the meat per capita that the U.S. does, would be fat and sick, but their heart disease, diabetes, and cancer burden are way lower than ours. Controversially, keto devout argue that carbohydrate is the root cause of disease, some saying that eating nothing but meat is the healthiest diet and can reverse most diseases. Is this true for everyone, or is this just a spin? So y'all have heard that keto diet, people are getting much healthier on the keto diet. I will say this, people, their ailments are getting killed. But I mean, if you're overweight and you all of a sudden put your body into a state of ketosis, which is where your body doesn't burn sugar for fuel anymore, it burns the fat for fuel, you will burn that stuck on fat like crazy and it's gone. The meat versus no meat controversy has caused the public to take their eye off the ball, much to the food industry's delight, because again, the meat versus the keto versus vegan argument isn't that, they're saying this is just meat only is good for you. No, just plants is good for you, and the meat's bad for the environment. They're taking the eye off the ball. That's not the real question. I believe both diets are inherently good for you if you do them properly. In fact, vegan versus keto battle is based on a false premise of metabolic health. I'm sorry, y'all, we still have a house phone. I know, that kind of makes me see. It's okay. It's okay. In fact, the vegan versus keto battle is based on a false premise of metabolic health. Both diets can be abused, as the food industry peddles both processed carbs and processed meat. One of the goals of this book is to help bury the hatchet in this lake diet war by showing that real vegan and real keto can both work, as they have more in common than they realize. You can get all your vitamins from plants. You can get all your vitamins from meat. The body is pretty cool. People are like, oh, but plant people don't get as much protein as they should. Well, plants have protein, but moreover, plants have amino acids, which are your building blocks to make protein. So that's important. So there's an environmental burden that's talked about with the animals. And I just want to debunk this real quick because there is no, it's ridiculous to talk about. Okay. While cows and sheep are indeed methane producers, the methane emissions from the animals, 5%, turns out to be a pittance compared to the rest of agriculture, 10%. And compared to the industrial methane products, 35%, and the transportation industry, 50%. And the climate impact of animals is completely dwarfed by the nitrous oxide production resulting from synthetic fertilizer sprayed on all plant-based products throughout the Midwest grain belt. No one ever thinks the, hey kitty, hey Ashley, thank you. I appreciate the love. I really do. Okay, wait. So people are like, this one's better, this one's better. They also have the argument of cows are causing the problem of the pollution. That's not. Yes, while they produce methane as a byproduct when they fart, that's not causing. It's the stuff that's sprayed on our crops is causing a lot. And it, compared to the cows, the fact they're taxing the people with the cows but not taxing the people who spray this crap on their produce is absolutely insane. Now the problem comes in, I've been asked, how do you know if something's real food? Does it protect the liver and does it feed the gut? Those are the two things that it should do. Protect the liver, feed the gut. Is it real? If it does one or the other, it's inherently okay. It's not the best for you. If it's destroying your body, but at least it's not destroying both your gut bacteria and your liver. So those are the two things. If you have a good liver, you can remove all the toxins from your body. If you have good gut bacteria, that you feed. Because I don't think a lot of people understand that if you don't feed your gut bacteria, it will eat on whatever it needs to survive. And that means your literal intestines. That bacteria will eat its way out of your gut. I have a friend who now has gas trapped around her heart because she didn't feed her gut bacteria. The gut bacteria kind of ate through her intestine wall lining. And now her gas just escapes and it's now pushing her heart way up. So I don't think people understand you got to feed the bacteria. You have to, almost like a pet. Thank you for the support. Or real. Or real what? Or for real? Yeah, you're is that what you asked, for real? I would love to, or real. Is it for real? Yeah, your gut bacteria is almost like a pet that you have to take care of, is how I see my gut bacteria. Yeah, she has leaky gut. So once the bacteria eats the mucus from your it's called mucosal. I'm butchering it, but it's on the outside of your intestinal walls, and it kind of keeps everything inside. Now, once that's all gone, it can be replaced, but once it's all gone, it causes inflammation and leaky gut. That literally means the stuff in your intestines is leaking out. And yeah, my friend eats nothing but sugar, and now she has fatty cirrhosis of the liver, and she has a bunch of trapped gas around her heart, and it's putting pressure on her heart, and it's really scary, especially she's 81, so she doesn't bounce back from stuff really quickly, but she's the sweetest little lady I've ever met in my life, and she's awesome. No, this is all scientific. I'm a nutritional biochemist. Well, in school, I'm not quite graduated yet. I still have like 2 more years to go, but I've got a lot of science under my belt already. And I wanted to share, I'm not for any diet. I'm not against any diet except weird diets. I saw some girl just died that just ate nothing but exotic fruits and was bulimic or something. I'm against stuff like that. I think that's a mental disorder as well. They must have censored it. That's weird. No, 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 no. I'm just trying to help people understand their bodies because I had my grandmother was really sick. I was significantly overweight, and then I got diagnosed with breast cancer. One rabbit hole down the next rabbit hole about 7 years ago, and I'm here now. And I'm no, 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 no. I'm not doing anything propaganda. I'm just trying to help people. I didn't understand that the things I were doing had such long-term impacts that were causing me to get as sick as I had gotten. Basically, I fought for my life and I had to crawl my way up to be here. So I'm grateful for any life, any day that I'm here. I am super grateful. But yeah, now I understand diet and I understand how I got to where I was, and yeah. Mm. There's a moral hazard, which denotes a situation where the perpetrator knowingly profits off the victim's suffering, an economic version of Schadenfreude. You know what? I can help you. I am 100% serious. Where are you holding your weight, if I might ask? If that's not too personal, I don't know if that's personal or not. Excuse me. Because when you're overweight, I don't know if you're familiar with metabolic diseases or metabolic dysfunction. Um, when you're overweight, you have what's called metabolic dysfunction. It means your organs aren't working together. You'll have one organ that's working optimum, say your stomach's digesting wonderful. Then you have this lower pooch that you just can't get rid of. A lot of times that's from yeast or sugar, too much sugar intake. Because sugar has to bond with a protein molecule when you eat it. And once they bond and they marry, your liver then can pass them off. And once they're passed off, and you know what? I'm sorry. You, I'm so glad you asked. You don't ever know. And I have found a lot of these channels are just trying to sell you something. I am literally, y'all can think I'm silly or not. I don't mind. I'm doing this to help people. I'm literally going to school to help people. I have seen 15 and 16-year-olds that need double kidney transplants from soda abuse. Now, so the arm thing. Okay, so um, that is a water retention issue. Do you like meat too much? Is that what you mean? Or is it too expensive? Because with vegan, um, both vegan and keto diets, that's what we were discussing today. They're both relatively good for you. They're both fine for you as long as you're not eating stuff that's heavily sprayed with pesticides and meat that has been heavily processed and then injected, your beef injected so it stays red, or your so chicken, they put in this solution so it kind of weighs more when they go to process it, and it's filled with water and chemicals, and they don't have to include that on the ingredient label. So look for chicken that's air chilled and things like, oh, but vegan, I'm so sorry. But just in case, if it's not for you and you decide to go back to meat products, either one, both meat and vegan, they're good. People are like, yeah, dairy is good for you. Dairy is good for you unless you have congestion, because dairy causes the body to produce mucus. So the mucus production can cause the body to have too much more water in it. But I was going to say, where you're holding your weight at, you need to look into your pituitary gland system. Your endocrine system is draining slow. So a lot of people that have, and I'm guilty of it too, I got the fat around the arms here. Like if I was to point, I'd probably away type of thing, right? But my pituitary gland system, through tapping and through all this, I'm losing the cellulite off my legs. um, I'm losing the fat in my arms. It takes a while and a consistency, but if you do tapping, so I just tap at my collarbone here, I go like this in my armpit, right here in my forearm. I just do it for 30 seconds per point. You start with your left armpit, and then you do your right armpit, and you start here and work your way down. So you start here, 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 and then you push down like this on your stomach, just kind of get everything to, you know, go down. And then the crease of your legs, your groin, you're going to want to tap in that crease. And then the backs of your legs, the crease where your leg is, that's going to stimulate the body to start moving this fluid from your body. That's what's responsible for removing that fluid. I have a very slow draining gland system, so I have the same problems as you. And it's not about keeping it off, it's the amount that your body can flush off of your body. So it's, do you drink enough water, or do you drink sodas? Sodas are a red herring for, you know, yesterday somebody mentioned to me, they were like, oh, I'm drinking sugar-free Red Bulls. And I was like, no, you're not. I said, because it might be able to say on the label that it's sugar-free, but I guarantee you it's got something in it that your body is still digesting as sugar. And she was a diabetic, and she couldn't figure out why her numbers kept going up, and then she'd get really sick. Yeah, diet sodas, you're better off just drinking regular sodas. I know diets have less calories. I'm going to be honest with you. Losing weight isn't about counting calories. I'm going to be 100% honest with you right now. I help people lose weight. One lady I'm helping right now, she was over 400 pounds. They give her 6 months to live. She had a failing heart, failing kidneys, and failing liver. I've got her out of heart failure and out of kidney failure with 4 rules. And I'm very strict about these rules, but they're the easiest rules to follow. And then I'll get back to the soda. So, 1, when you wake up in the morning, don't drink anything but something warm. You want to wake your body up. You want to wake your system up. So I do a lemon and ginger shot with a little bit of warm water, and I drink that, and I wait 15 minutes, and then I can eat. Once your digestive tract is awoken, you can pretty much put anything down your gullet and you can digest it. That would help with the diet sodas. If you don't want to give those up, you don't have to. 2, the size of your palm right here is your portion size. So say that's not the whole plate. Okay, so it's like, I want some potato salad, nothing bigger than my palm. Okay, I want a piece of chicken, not bigger than my palm. Whatever you do, never bigger than your own palm. That is your portion control size. 2, okay, I'm still hungry. I did the portions. Now I'm still hungry. Can I go back for seconds? Absolutely. Absolutely. Wait 15 minutes. It takes 15 minutes for your stomach to communicate to your brain that it's full. So if you wait 15 minutes, most likely you're not going to go back for those seconds. Sometimes, absolutely, you will. Do not eat past 7 p.m. Well, don't eat, I should say this, try to eat at least 3 hours. Stop eating 3 hours before you go to bed. That way your body has time to digest everything, so that you can sleep properly and actually go into a restorative sleep. And the last one, and I think it's the hardest one, you have to eat real food. It has to be real food. It can't be processed junk. Those are the rules I give to people, and you will lose weight. You don't have to count calories. You don't have to second guess what you're eating. As long as your body's able to do what it needs to do. Yeah, me too. Me too. Me too. That was the hardest habit to break. You know what I ended up doing? I had to get rid of all the snacks in my house. So, of course, I took it upon myself. I gorged for like a week, and got rid of all my snacks out of my house. And then if I wanted a snack that I wanted late at night, I would make myself make it. That's how I broke the habit. Because it's 8 o'clock at night, who wants to get up, say you're wanting potato chips, or say you're wanting a sweet treat. Who wants to get up at night and go and make that at 8 o'clock at night when you got, so much going on in life? Now, the diet sodas, I have to talk about these because that's something we shouldn't ignore. Diet sodas. Hi, Jana. I'm on TikTok too. So diet sodas, and I have to talk about these. When you drink diet sodas and they get to your small intestines and your large intestines, the diet sodas have chemicals in them that destroy your gut. Now, why is that a really important thing? Your gut is your second brain. You have a nerve, a vagus nerve that runs from your brain down your spinal cord, and it touches your lower spine, and that's where your intestines. So, like your happy hormones that are made in your brain, they're all made in your gut. So if your gut bacteria is doing well, you're feeding it fiber like you should, you're going to be happy. There's no other, you will be genuinely happy. No one will be able to tick you off unless you're like, okay, I'm done with today. I can't hear another word, but it's your own. You're getting angry. It's not that uncontrollable anger. I used to have that uncontrollable anger. I couldn't figure out where it was coming from. It was coming from the soda pop. As soon as I cut that off. But you get the diet soda, you get through your intestines, and it destroys every bit of gut bacteria. It's almost the same as taking antibiotics. It'll destroy every bit of gut bacteria that you have. And if you do that, you're going to get sick. You're going to catch everything because your diverse gut bacteria is what is your immune system. That's your entire immune system. People make it so complicated. It's just the bacteria. If you just take a spoonful of kefir, or I'm sorry, a shot of kefir, or a teaspoon to a tablespoon of what do you call that? Kimchi, you'll be great. You just, and also make sure you eat fiber, because if you don't feed your gut bacteria, it will eat its way out, and it will eat you alive. While you're living, it will eat you, and you will have inflammation, and then you'll have leaky gut. Like I was saying, my friend has gas trapped around her heart from her leaky gut, and it's really scary because it's pushing her heart, literally pushing it up, and it's causing her to have a lot of heart problems that are not just something to scuff at. Yeah, but unfortunately, the diet soda, that's the thing. The water is really good for you, though. Water is great for you, but the diet soda is where you might want to just switch to regular soda, because like that aspartame that's in it, I know a lot of people say, oh, don't worry about the aspartame. It's not going to, no, it's still going to cause a glucose spike, and it's still going to, it literally kills everything in the gut. Um, the fiber bars, which brand? Because different brands have different stuff in them. Um, the heavily processed things I don't do. I have a lot of you know what? I'm gonna make you a video if you follow me. Come back later this next week. Not this weekend. This weekend's crazy. My daughter's graduating. Oh. So Aldi doesn't have bad food. Aldi's bars might be okay. Let me look into that. Oh, yay. Thank you too for the support. So Fiber One. Mm-mm, mm-mm. So, do you like potatoes? Thank you. She's graduating 8th grade. I said graduate, and I just thought about that. The senior's graduating too. No, 8th grade. And I'm so proud of her. She's skipping a grade in math. She's skipping 2 grades in band. She plays the clarinet. And I'm like, where do you get this go-go's? And then she's like, Mom, have you sat down today? And I'm like, well, no. And she goes, well, I don't know where I get the go-go's from. It's like, oh, we know, mother like daughter. But I'm just like watching her. I'm like amazed. I'm just like, oh, it's not like I'm biased or anything. But she's the sweetest little girl. She's 14, and she's the best. Yeah, I know. Very smart kid. Very smart. You know what we do for fun though? She loves museums. We went this past weekend to the Henry Ford Museum and walked around the Henry Ford Museum, and we were reading all the like cards and stuff. She was in like zoned into everyone. She goes, Mom, this postal man from the 1800s delivered the mail during this. And I'm like, that's so cool. But it's so cute. She loves learning, and I love it. And I support her every bit. Yeah, thank you. But I'm going to show you how to make fiber bars from scratch using your food scraps, because it's super easy, and it's almost like instead of throwing your trash away, you get to make this cool stuff. Well, it's not trash. None of the fruit is trash. But I'll show you how to take your little scraps. I put them in the freezer until I'm ready to use them. And then I make these bars out of them. The only thing I haven't is I use a lot of lemon and I tried to dehydrate them. You know what? I agree with you. She's very lucky because my mother ran away on me when I was a kid. And my dad raised us. He did an amazing job. I'm not saying that he's a great man, wonderful, but he, worked a lot. So dinners were kind of hamburger helper. If we could afford McDonald's, we'd get McDonald's, but dinners a lot of times were not so good. Yeah, McDonald's. If you eat fast food, you gotta cut that one out. But yeah, if your weight thing, I'm gonna make a video for you about the tapping. I do here because I started getting a little extra chin. I hold fluid because I have a slow draining pituitary gland system. My whole system drains so ding dang slow, and I don't know why. I hold on to mucus, I hold on to the chin stuff, I hold on to the chubby cheek thing, and I tap. I actually do this at night and stuff. You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. When I was overweight, I had a lot of addictions that you don't consider addictions. So I had a lot of food addictions. I was addicted. I was addicted to sugar, and I still kind of am addicted to sugar. That stuff has got a hold on me. I did a 3-day fast where I didn't eat for 3 days. But oh Lord, did I crave that sugar? I was about to give up my soul for a Snickers bar. I agree. And you know what? I'm going to tell you this too. Losing weight is psychological. It really is. If you are in the right state of mind and you have the support that you need, you will absolutely, I mean, you don't even, it'll just fall off of you. But you have to be in the right state of mind. I love fast food. Well, I did like fast food. Now I get cravings for fast food. And I'm like, if I'm craving fast food, that must be I'm lacking some nutrient or vitamin that I must need. Yes. Now, fasting is great. It is wonderful to starve the body of, because in America we overeat, but you do have to be careful. You do need to listen to your body, but fasting is wonderful. And if you've never fasted before, I suggest you just do like from 7 p.m. until like noon the next day. And that is wonderful. Fasting is a very good reset. So it puts our body into a state of autophagy. Now, autophagy, you can get to autophagy a couple different ways. You can do it by sleeping. If you have an empty stomach and you go to sleep, sleep whatever your body needs, you sleep. It doesn't even have to be 8 hours. It could be 6 hours, it could be 10 hours, whatever you need. Hey, Winston. You know what? Do you eat potatoes or anything a lot? I will tell you why. You can turn potatoes into fiber. It's going good. It's going good. We're talking about weight, the things. Okay. I love that you eat potatoes a lot. Okay. So you can meal prep potatoes, making your week very easy. However, sweet potatoes, any waxy potatoes like red potato, yellow potato, those potatoes are wonderful. You can turn the starches in them to resistant starches. Now, if you cook the potato, you let the potato cool, then you recook the potato when you heat it up. What's going to happen is you're going to take something that's going to cause a glucose spike, which is going to cause you to put on a few pounds around your waist, because immediately burning it off, it's going to go into your storage for later, and later never comes, because unless we're starving ourselves for the fast or something, it's later just never comes. So what this does is it takes those sugars that your body stores like in the folds and creases and stuff for later. It takes that, you cook it, you let it cool completely, then cook it again, heat it up somehow, oven, microwave, on top of wherever you want to heat it up at. It takes and turns those starches to resistant starches. Now, resistant starches are resistant to digestion. Now, what that does for your body is it makes it past the small intestines and it goes to the large intestines. And because they're resistant to digestion, you don't even digest them. They ferment in your intestines. So as they're fermenting, you're feeding your gut bacteria. It's a good fiber source. You take the potatoes and basically turn them into a sugar. You turn them from a sugar attack into a prebiotic. So it's so good for your gut. I mean, it is. I love potatoes. Now, the only thing this doesn't, you can use this for rice. However, don't keep rice in your fridge for that long. You can use this for bread. I don't, when you make bread from scratch, this works, but you can also put your bread in the freezer and it turns it into resistant starches. It actually realigns all the molecules so your body has a hard time digesting it, and that turns it into a prebiotic for your gut. So once you eat that, but again, this works for every single thing: rice, potatoes, corn, except for the russet potato. The russet potato is best cooked and then cooled, completely cooled. It'll make a lot of resistant starches. So I use russet potatoes for things like potato salad, which is cold, potato chips. I just slice them in my mandolin and make those potato chips, and those are pretty easy. So you can turn that and that'll help you drop weight like crazy because you're not going to have the glucose spike. And you can pre-pep them. What I do is I just wash a whole bag of potatoes. I stab them, put them in a container, throw them in my oven for 45 minutes. When I'm done, I pull them out, I let them cool, I stick them in a Ziploc bag and stick them in the fridge. Then as a side, when like, oh, we need something to eat, I use them in stir fries. I use them, heat them up in the microwave for a baked potato. I just make sure not to overcook them because it can make them kind of, But if you're using instant potatoes, this should help cut out the instant potatoes because instant potatoes, I don't care what potato it is, it's going to cause you a glucose spike, which is immediately, if you do not eat them and then go to the gym and run like your heart depends on it, you're going to store them for fat for later. And the thing is our bodies are used to burning sugar for fuel. So the only time it usually burns fat is when our storage of glycogen is gone, which that's the sugar. Once the glycogen is gone, then we'll burn the fat. But again, we don't usually make it that far. But potatoes, prep them. It'll actually turn it into a prebiotic, and it's easy to prep them too, because just throw them in the oven, throw them in the toaster oven. Just remember to stab them. I like to roast mine in the oven on convection roast, and it makes the skin all crispy, and I like eating the skin. You're very welcome, and I'm so glad you got to stop by, and thanks for interacting with me. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the love. I'm a small-time content creator. Yeah, I'm just going to school. Hey, thank you. I'm just going to school to be a nutritional biochemist, and I see so many people struggling with diets and with, I don't even know if you'd call them diets because half the stuff they're pushing, you shouldn't even be eating it. It's not food. So I don't know if they consider it a diet or something, but it's a hard situation when you it's a hard situation when you see so many people struggling, and it's like there's a few rules that you follow, and they're very simple to follow. Well, all of them except probably the late night snacking and the late night eating's hard, but they're basic rules. Are you still in here, Winston? Am I saying that right? Winston. It is going really well though. It's going very well. I'm just kind of hanging out and talking about food and talking about life. And no, we're just talking about food. I'm trying to help people understand metabolic disorder and how you cook your food, how you eat your food, and when you eat your food is important. So if you wake up and you just go straight for your coffee or straight for your water, and whether your water is ice cold or room temperature, you shouldn't be doing it. You need warm. Your body is 98.7 degrees naturally. So what you want to do is drink something warm, whether it be a shot of warm water, wait 15 minutes and then go for whatever you're going to eat. You don't want to drink coffee first within the first hour you wake up. That way you give your body some time to, wake up. Don't even get me started on the mold that's in black coffee. A lot of people are like, coffee's good for you. Coffee can be very good for you. In moderation, anything's good for you, right? But the coffee, like Folgers, that comes in that big tin, that's got black mold in it? And they're giving you mold toxicity, which is making you sick. You can actually look up who owns stock. I mean, I guess not the stock, but who the CEOs, the people who own Folgers. If you look up, they own the pharmaceutical industry that pushes some of the pills that what lead to what happens after you get mold toxicity in your body for years. Um, it's really sick. But if you just get coffee beans and you grind them yourself as you need them, you'll cut down on any black mold you might be ingesting, which I think is important. Most people don't know that they wake up and they slam themselves with mold. It's kind of crazy. Hi. Does anyone have any health questions? I literally can help you. Like, if you have a bigger waistline and you have high blood pressure, you have a sugar consumption problem. If you have a bigger waistline but do not have high blood pressure, you have a salt problem. You're either ingesting too much sugar or too much salt. And not all salt's created equally, not all sugar is created equally, but I'm talking about processed sugar and processed salt. Most of the time that's the problems if we have high blood pressure and no high blood pressure. But we have a bigger waistline. Those are the culprits. And that's the type of metabolic dysfunction you're going to come down to is your organs will start to fail. And when they do, for sugar, you're going to have things like kidney failure, fatty cirrhosis of the liver, Alzheimer's, congestive heart failure, congestion being in the lungs, the failure being in the heart. There's a lot of things. But if anyone has any questions or wants to talk about any of that, I'm reading this book, Metabolical. It's helped change my life and it's helped me understand a lot of things. It's time to expose the maneuvers of the food industry and the pharma industry and their influence on Congress to make us all fat, sick, and broke. And in 8 years since my first book, Fat Chance, this is not my book, this is Robert Lustig. He's an amazing, brilliant biochemist. And he's actually the reason I'm in school to become a biochemist. Chemistry's changed my life. But now I can't unsee or unknow half the stuff I know. Fat Chance, he wrote in 2012, if you have a sugar problem, read Fat Chance. It'll really wake you up. The data on ultra-processed food has come in, and it's absolutely damning. We all know the nature of toxic metabolic of sugar in the liver and the roles it plays in cancer and dementia. We have the data to show that sugar is addictive and keeps us coming back for more. Controversially, we know that dietary fat is not toxic. Aside from trans fat's always toxic. If you see trans fat, just know you're poisoning yourself, throw it back. And some fats can be therapeutic. We are beginning to understand the role of the gut and its microbiome in the development of autoimmune and psychiatric diseases. We have data on all side effects of diet sweeteners and information on pesticides like glyphosate. The NOVA food classification system from Brazil categorizes the degree of processing so we can determine what food industry practices are the most dangerous. It's not the food that's bad for us. It's what's been done to our food that is terrible. And I am preaching that until I am high in the sky. Our food is bad. Our food is relatively good, and it's good. It's what's been done to our food. There's like a bunch of companies right now that are under lawsuit because their farming practices, they use these shovels, and those shovels have lead in them. So of course, as they're shoveling the stuff up, they're actually scraping the salt up. It was a salt company. As they're scraping it up, it's leaving lead in the food. So then you have lead in your food. There's chicken companies that use big metal machines I don't know what they're called, but that leaves metal shards in the food as well. So again, it's not, the food is relatively good for us. It's what's been done to the food to make it last longer, to make it taste better. And actually, they put chemicals in it that, when digested, signal to the brain, this is the best thing I've ever eaten in my life. Those chemicals that are in this food are not real. They're meant to make you hungrier. They're meant you want more of their food, and they're make you to get addicted to their food. And all the while, it's just the chemical composition of what you're eating that is tricking your body into going, oh my God, this is great. And most of them, it takes 15 minutes for your stomach and your brain to communicate. 15 minutes in real time. So if you eat something, wait 15 minutes to go back for seconds, you'll love yourself, because it takes that long for your brain to signal you're full. And most times, if you wait 15 minutes and just sit at the table and talk, or, if you eat in front of the TV, just, go to the bathroom, get your outfit out, do whatever you're doing for the day or the next day, and just keep yourself busy. 15 minutes later, go, okay, I'm not really that hungry. Or, okay, I got to have another bowl of that because that was absolutely delicious. And it just waiting that 15 minutes. But what happens when you eat processed food is that you eat it, it goes down your throat, it gets to your stomach. It's so confused, because the chemicals are meant to trick the brain to go, okay, this is good, let's do more. It also has things in your thing that tickle the part of the brain that says, oh, we're hungry, we need food, you need to go feed me. And in reality, you just ate, but it's going, feed me, feed me, feed me. So your brain's confused. Your stomach never sends that signal up that it's full. So you have this problem. Yeah, I know. I have a house phone now. Let me see if it's going to be answered. My grandmother's here, so let me see if she'll answer it. I don't think she's going to answer it, but we don't want to talk to a 616 anyways. I don't even know where that's from. But I want to say the metabolical, these scammer calls, you pick up the phone or they get on the answer machine and it's music. What is up with that? What are they? They have nothing to do. Anyways, metabolical is I struggle with this word, so excuse me. Portmanteau, a word blending two other words. Metabolic, the workings of the body, and diabolical, the workings of the food, pharma, and the feds. All claim to be on your side, but they're on their own sides, and you're the victim of their propaganda. And I really hope that people understand. If you want to know what real food is, if people are like, okay, well, let's go get organic food. Let's go get, this, I'm buying this apple, it's not organic. If you're buying a non-organic apple, one, just make sure you scrape that wax coating that Bill Gates has put in, because if you don't, all that wax coating is going to like clog in your intestines, especially your gut bacteria will not eat it, and you will literally stop your small intestines from being able to absorb the stuff that's in your gut. But the things that define real food are two things. Something that feeds the gut. So anything that feeds your gut is good, real food. And anything that protects your liver. So if it does one or the other, it's not the best for you, but I wouldn't say it was the worst for you. If it doesn't do if it harms the liver and does not feed the gut, that is not real food. That is not doing you any favors. That's how I go through the grocery store. I have sat in a grocery store before and going, okay, this is what's in this. What does this do to the liver? What does this do to the gut? And when I first started doing this, I know okay, I will say this. If you suffer from constipation problems, go to Taco Bell. You will get, that's what my friend suffers from constipation. And I was like, I just need to go eat some Taco Bell. Clean yourself out, start fresh. Clean it out, start fresh. But yeah, Taco Bell is very good. But I don't eat fast food, but I crave Taco Bell. That is my one soft spot, is Taco Bell. I don't eat at Arby's. I can't eat at McDonald's. Don't like anything at Burger King. I don't mind Wendy's if I have to. I mean, what it is, I like their french fries better than any other french fries. I used to love McDonald's french fries back in the 90s when they used beef tallow and they actually cared about what their potatoes look like. That was pretty cool. But so if it food can be good for you, but Taco Bell is good though. But it is diabolical. Oh, I forgot where I was at now. What was I saying? I got stuff on the Taco Bell. Now I can't stop thinking. I like the bean burrito. Add sour cream and chives with extra red sauce. No onions because they dehydrate their onions and it just tastes weird to me. So, well, they're dehydrated then rehydrated. They're so good. So I decided to get them. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Real meat, fruit, and vegetables. It is actually, I think we think that's simple, but not everybody thinks that's simple. Especially, I haven't ate processed food in years and years and years. Um, First off, I went out to eat for the first time after a long time, and it made me so sick. And I don't mean sick like, throwing up. I meant like my stomach was cramping and stuff like that, but also like my ears were ringing. I had the worst headache of my life. I had no energy. Whatever I ate, it was not real. And I've been making everything, from scratch. Like my eggs come from chickens, out of the chicken's butthole. And then, my uncle has a bunch of chickens and just brings us eggs. He just brought us 12 dozen eggs. I'm like, I don't even know what the price of eggs are anymore. And I really don't want to know because I think I'd have a heart attack because people keep talking about the price of eggs or whatever. I don't know if they've come down or went up. I don't know what's going on with it, but I do know that they killed a bunch of the chickens. So obviously the demand's still there, but the supply is shortened. So the price would obviously be higher. I don't even pass by the egg section in the grocery store. I'm like, nope. But yeah, we think it's that simple. Actually, it's the eating. Yeah, it is. It is very salty. Well, not only is it salty, but you can taste the chemicals. The lot when we went out to eat the other day, it was, you could tell there was more in the food. And again, food is relatively good for us. The food isn't the real issue. It's what's been done to the food, from the soil being over harvested so there's no nutrients left in the soil, to all the chemicals that are sprayed on the stuff to keep the bugs down. And they've even got the fruit now to where you can spray all these terrible chemicals on them and it doesn't harm the plant or the fruit. I mean, we should just really not be playing God on stuff like this. We should just let our stuff grow and weed and stuff like that. But I know we have to pack the grocery stores full. I know, that's why I look at Cheerios and I'm like, let me honestly break this down. I live in Ypsilanti, Michigan, and there is a grocery store from my house, either 5 minutes or 10 minutes. I don't have to go more than like 8 minutes to get to a grocery store. Now, I've got one in every direction, mind you, every direction I could go. And that's like that everywhere. And every store you walk into has boxes and boxes of Cheerios. Now, look at the farmland in America. Now, the amount of Cheerios there are and the farmlands that there are, the two don't add up. Where are they getting all these oats from? And then you look at the back of the ingredients label and you're like, oh, okay, well, they're not using a lot of oats in this. Do you hunt moose? Or do you mean like it's a burger that's not made from moose? I've never had moose. That actually, I tried to make deer burgers like a month ago without thinking the deer, didn't have enough fat to even attempt to be held together. I made deer tacos. Now, if moose is a thing, I'm going to have to try this. Oh, mushrooms. Me and my daughter are obsessed with the mushrooms. Is that your name, Chris Bacon? I like that last name, Bacon. I'm actually trying to make my own bacon. See that lady, trying to help with her. Ooh. Was the moose? Did he have to add the? Well, obviously, I guess you have to add fat when you make your own ground beef. So you're from up north, aren't you? You would have to be from up north. Are you like Alaska? Oh, have you seen the Northern Lights? The sun was in its 11th year. So the sun there. Oh, I want a moose burger now. You've teased me with this moose burger. Really, now I'm gonna have. You can't find moose at the grocery store either. Have you seen the Northern Lights, Chris? That's one of my bucket lists, and we're supposed to be able to see the Northern Lights visible overnight tonight because the sun had a solar flare days ago, so we're supposed to be able to see them. Well, you know what? Is it okay if I call you Chris? I don't want to offend anybody. That's not cool. Yeah, that's what I tell. My daughter was like, Mom, it doesn't really matter what you call people. She goes, just say hey, or, and she goes, nobody really minds. And I'm like, no, that's the one thing people really do get butthurt over is what they're being called. I'm like, nobody can even take a joke anymore. You have to be so tiptoe. Mushrooms are good, though. I've never had antelope either. Now I feel like I'm missing out. Montana, of course. Montana's beautiful. Cold, though. Y'all get colder than we do. Y'all get crazy winters. How much snow did y'all get this year? It's supposed to finally be 80 degrees today. Yeah, it sounds like, let me take a screenshot because now I'm going to check it out. Okay, I'm definitely going to check out your channel because that's really cool. Yeah, I've only seen the Northern Lights once. And what's bad is that the sun's been in this solar flare this entire year, and it happens once every 11 years. So the Northern Lights are strong. Like, I was just able to look right here and go, oh my gosh, that's the Northern Lights. The whole sky was green and blue and purple. It was beautiful. I was in love. I'm in love. So I'm going to stay up really late tonight to try to catch him again. Because once in 11 years, we are pretty low for Northern Lights. It's usually much higher than us, but we're actually getting them. Were you able to see the Northern Lights in Montana a couple months ago? Because I know Texas was able to see them. I had friends in Texas sending me pictures because everybody knows I'm obsessed. Obsessed. So it sounds like you eat pretty natural. It sounds like you eat very natural. And I love to hear that. I really do. Yeah. A lot of people don't understand you have to eat the real food to, to be, you won't, it's like smoking a pack of cigarettes. One cigarette's not going to get you. 20 cigarettes won't get you. But 200,000 cigarettes in 5 years of doing it will eventually get you. Wow, 7 foot of snow. Wow. We've had a pretty warm winter. Well, I say that, and today's our first 80-degree day. We haven't had many warm days, but we haven't had that much snow either. We had some pretty wicked ice storms, though. We had some terrible ice storms. Terrible ice storms took out the power. Well, our power lines are underground, but everyone else around us, their power lines are above ground. And they had power for no power for a week. It was really bad. I just invited people over and I was like, just come on in. Enjoy a wall outlet plug. Charge your phone. I'm from Louisiana, so pretty versed on not having a lot of stuff when, things go wrong. Let me take a picture of that. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna check you out because do you have pictures of all around Montana up? Because Montana is beautiful. Montana's very beautiful. I like Montana. Let's see. This line gets me. Are Americans healthy? Do we are Americans healthier because the U.S. has the best doctors, hospitals, and medical technologies, the most innovative surgeries, the best and newest drugs, and spends most amount of money per capita on healthcare of all other countries on the globe. So we spend more on healthcare. We have more of a system to handle stuff. We have the best and newest drugs and newest treatments. So that would mean we're healthier. We must be. So are Americans healthier? Do we enjoy better health care? Do we live longer? The answer to each of these questions is an unequivocal and empathetic no. In fact, it's quite the opposite. Americans have the worst health outcomes of any country in the Organizational for Economic Cooperation and Development. It's called the OECD. We have, oh, that's so cool. Do you have cooking videos on your channel? Because I'm looking for new inspo. Because not a lot of people cook from scratch. It's a very hard thing to find. Well, hard-ish thing to find. A lot of people do canned stuff, and yeah, I can't do it. But the 37 richest countries and several of the most lethal chronic diseases, Americans rank among the worst of the developed countries in the world. Number 1 in diabetes, number 2 in Alzheimer's disease, number 5 in cancer, and 6 in cardiovascular disease. But we have the best healthcare system. So we should have the most healthiest people. I heard a joke that somebody says, you know, the healthcare system has come so far and has gotten so good that there's hardly a healthy American left that's not on a pill. Because being on a pill, you have to pay the piper for that. So an executive chef, that's pretty dang awesome. You should do some cooking videos, especially from a chef's yeah, you should definitely do some cooking videos. Cooking from scratch, those moose burgers, that would be a really big hit. So would antelope. You should, I think I said that right. You should definitely do some of those videos because I would definitely be interested in them. And I think a lot of other people would be too, because there's a lot of food on the internet, but there's not a lot of good food on the internet. Not food that's actually going to feed the body. There's a lot of crap. Let's just call it crap. And all these diets that people try to do. And it's like, why are you even entertaining? You're either, and what I understand is the people who starve their self of like a certain nutrient. And it's like, well, the body kind of needs that. And when you actually do give the nutrient back, it's just going to hold on to whatever you give it, because you took it away for so long. So then you're just going to gain twice the amount of weight back that you did. And I don't know. I don't understand it, but I think people are easily looking for a fix or a solution that's not there. So I think anyone who cooks from scratch and cooks good food, because apparently if you use the word omit the salt, it no longer tastes good. My personal opinion, if you have to omit one ingredient and the entire dish is ruined, maybe you don't know how to cook. Just throwing that out there. Not in a mean way, just a maybe it's not so cooking well. Okay, no doubt of all the OECD countries, the US is the sickest. We have the most expensive drugs, double that of Europe, plus the most expensive doctors. We spend the most on hospitals and inpatient care. And what do we get for it? Just take a look at this graph. I'm going to show you the graph in 1 second. There are 2 main takeaways from this graph. 1, the more money we throw at the problem, the worse it gets. Which either means we haven't addressed the problem at all, or maybe we're even making it worse. And 2, it wasn't always this way. So I'm going to show you this graph. It seems to be that the more money we spend on trying to fix a problem, the worse it gets. So let's see, my lighting is kind of bad. But this is over the years, and this is the amount of money over the years that we're spending on it, and the problem's just getting worse. It hasn't gotten better. So it seems the more money, the worse our problems get. Might be time to rethink what we're doing. So what started in 1970? Oh wait, I gotta tell you why. Okay, the U.S. has never been particularly efficient in our healthcare dollars. We at least use up I'm so sorry. I have a little bit of dyslexia where I switch the words around, so sometimes it doesn't come out when I speak it sometimes, or try to speak it. From the brain to the mouth, there's like an error. We at least used to keep up with the rest of the pack. We started going off the rails in 1970. And even now, we haven't come close to identifying the problem, much less solving it, because there's no magic pill. None of the diseases, non-communicative diseases that people get, like heart disease, lung problems, fatty liver, none of them can be fixed with a pill. You can manage symptoms, but you're not actually ever going to fix it. I know. Now, why is this that we spend the more money that seems to be thrown at the problem? I think it's embezzlement. Because if you look about the amount of money that's being spent on something, and then you like nickel and dime everything, and it's like, wait, where's the rest of the money? What? I don't understand. Like the homelessness problem, they just threw like $13 billion at in California to build them like these free homes and like little communities. Me too. That's why it makes reading out loud kind of hard, because this dyslexia is like, and then it's embarrassing because you're on the internet with people and you're showing your face to the internet, but nobody's perfect, it happens, and the healthcare started devolving in the 1970s, and so it started in the 1970s. And why is it bankrupting healthcare? And why is our problem now a problem everywhere and to everyone? That's the metabolic syndrome started rearing its ugly head in the 1980s to become the scourge of the 21st century. Think about the diseases that killed large numbers quickly in ancient and modern societies. Leprosy, plague, syphilis, tuberculosis, influenza, malaria, HIV, all of them are infections. You'd think the disease of metabolic syndrome have nothing to do with infection. After all, anyone can die from infection, as rapidly demonstrated by the coronavirus pandemic. Now, this gets good because, yes, the virus was going around, but why was everybody so apt to catching the virus? Why could their immune systems not fight it off? Why did it get so bad that it was killing people? Like, it was terrible. But you have to ask yourself, why did people's immune systems not fight this bug? Why was it able to stay dormant in our bodies undetected for 7 to 14 days before the symptoms even started? Meaning that person was walking around spreading it to hundreds of people. And then those people were going about their daily lives because they felt good. It was just dormant inside of them, sleeping. So you ask yourself, why weren't people's immune systems able to fight the virus off? Why did that happen like that? But if you have metabolic syndrome, your risk of death goes up 20-fold, and it's your fault because you're a glutton and a sloth. Wrong on both counts. The simple fact is, just like the coronavirus, anyone can get metabolic syndrome, even those who are normal weight, even at risk both ways. So that's all. This what I try to do is, yes. I love this book. This book changed my life. I lost the front cover of it, and I don't know if you can see this or not. Kind of, like this book is very much, it's gotten its use out of, and I highly recommend it. It's called Metabolical: The Lures and Lies to Processed Food, Nutrition, and Modern Medicine by Robert L. Lustin. He's also got a book called Sugar. And I highly recommend all of his works. He's a nutritional biochemist. He's actually the reason I'm in school right now to become a nutritional biochemist, because you have zero problems until you have one health problem. You're like, you have a problem, you go to the doctor because that's your option. Where do you go when you're sick? The doctor. That's the only place you can go. I think we should be going to chemist, and I think we should be going to nutritional biochemist. No, I have not read about the Spanish flu. Now I'm going to have to. I know. See, now, Now I've got my next thing. No, I actually haven't. I read about like plagues that came from the monkeys, and then the plague doctors thought, if they wore this, mask, that they wouldn't get sick and things like that. And but have I actually like dove in? Mm-mm. I got yeah. Did you know sugar has over 56 names? Wow, really? Do you know, a lot of people from my generation, I guess they call me a millennial, but anyways, are going back to like farming methods. But a lot of millennials, it's not millennials, the one before millennials got sick and passed away. My grandmother caught COVID. She was fine. I was like, she was like, "Achoo," and she was good. She was over it. I caught it. I lost 15 pounds. Can't that cannot be a coincidence. Like, but the thing is I think it's because she grew up on a farm eating real food and had a real chance with her gut microbiome to thrive. I grew up at the height of TV dinners, hamburger helper, plastic, processed foods. I don't think I fed my gut when it was little. Do you know that when you're in the womb, the brain and the intestines are one basically until the spinal cord develops and then they separate. That's how closely close they rely on each other. They're formed together until the spinal cord develops later, which I find interesting. Yeah, because your small intestines are your second brain too. So it's really good. I really enjoyed talking to you, Chris. You've made my life very interesting. I appreciate it. I am about to go. My daughter has a lot of graduating stuff. She's in eighth grade, going to ninth grade. She's got all of her eighth grade graduation stuff. And I have to make her a very heartfelt card, um, because she's just the best kid. And I want her to know she's just the best kid. So I will be live tomorrow morning at the farmer's market, and then again tonight if you want to come hang out. Morning, I go live in the mornings. That is my educational. And then I go live in the evenings as I cook dinner and we just hang out and chit chat. I think I'm going to end this. Enjoy the rest of your day.